What happened with you that you explained you were this close to dying? What kind of attack was it?
Uh,
Or if you don't mind, if you don't want to talk about it, it's okay.
no, I can tell you I've been dead, actually dead 3 times and came back. And one time extremely close to dying, and one time being stopped in the middle of all of it, just like frozen in midair and stuff. So this last one, I think it was pretty horrid actually, because that was what I can best resemble by the word vampire. And it was halfway manifested. So it was both going on the physical and on other levels of energy. So it was really a bad sucker, you know. Something had happened in my life that was some kind of emotionally traumatizing to me. And it really got me emotionally down. And when you get emotionally down, like I said, often the digestive system and stuff like that is kind of going funky wonky because of that. So I was already feeling sick because of all of that happening, but not anything dangerous per se, you know, but just like feeling really sick and pains and crying and stuff like that. And the agenda, I have noticed, create these events and stuff like that on purpose in order to get some of the strongest of us down. And so they waited till I was really lying there sick and crying and stuff. And in the middle of the night, I had this, some call it sleep paralysis, but it's not per se that. Your energies are actually being frozen, like kept at a standstill. And this very dense, it was so dense and so black, I could feel it, and it was icy cold like energy, but at the same time it felt like kind of sticky, sort of like jelly or something maybe. And it came in through my balcony door as I was sleeping, and then it put this freeze kind of on me. And so it just crawled up from, it was terrible. It crawled up from my foot end of the bed and crawled on top of me. And they have a huge bite, like they can elongate their bite. They have 4 really big fangs. So it bite down with where my liver is at, but the whole side, I think, can I show it like here?
Yeah.
Like the whole side of me, both in front and in the back here,
We're bit.
it just made a huge bite, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then it just kept on. And I, even though I was frozen in that state, I could feel everything. And I
Yeah.
could feel it laying on top of me and like pushing me down by some kind of weight. And it also had like this talon kind of fingers, and it bored its talons into me, into my body, and I could physically feel it. And it was really, it was some, is probably the most horrible thing I have ever experienced. That was really horrible, and I had no doubt that I was dying, and it was going fast. I tried to like hold on and try to do whatever pushing I usually can do, but I was just into a weekend of a state. I couldn't do it, and it literally physically was it in me. So another dimension kind of push wouldn't work, because it would rip my body along with it, and then I would have certainly died, you know. So that was terrible, and I could feel my spirit simply leaving me, because there was nothing else to do. It was draining both my life force and my physical blood. It was draining everything. So my spirit started kind of move out of me, and it wanted to move like out here. But I have always been like pretty willful. I have a big willpower, so I was not going to just let that happen. So I actually remember myself being out of my body and literally hanging on to my crown chakra on the inside like that, and I felt like I was being sucked out up into some kind of board or something behind me, and I was just clinging on like that. And then I was just inside of me, I was just screaming because I knew this is this is not good. So I just screamed like intensity, sacred Jesus. I always put the word sacred in front of a name to make sure that it's something benign coming.
Yes.
So I screamed sacred Jesus over and over and over again. And within some seconds, I think he appeared, and it's not the first time I have encountered him. So I knew that it was him. He was standing coming to the left side of my body, and you see there's this, they have to be allowed, if they want to do something inside of your body, they have to be allowed to do so. So even though I was clinging on like that, he was still like taking his time to ask me, will you please allow me to enter your physical body? I'm like, yes, just do it. Yeah. And so he lied down into my body in the exact same position that my body was placed. And he like created a flow that pumped his pure energies in all of me, even the physical, in all of me.
Yes.
And as he continued to do that, and he just said to me, it's okay, you could just go to sleep now, I got this down. So it just continued to like flush like that. As more, the more he flushed, at the end of it, the vampire, as I would call it, it simply couldn't stand the purity. It just couldn't stand the pure divine light any longer. So at the end of it, it ended up releasing me itself from its claws and a bite, and it kind of wimpled and like it was so awful, and it just like slithered off of my body and onto the floor and went out the balcony door where it had came in, you know. And Jesus still, he made that flushing for several hours, and I went into a sleep of such a kind, I would say it was most likely kind of a coma, actually, because I remember nothing from sleeping, absolutely nothing. I just remember waking up the next day, and I was still in some kind of pain and stuff and dealing with the remnants of it. But I was just, ever so thankful that I was actually waking up, because I kind of didn't expect to.